bad news for Mike Pillow. It appears that Congress wants his phone records. So now CNBC spoke to Mike Lindell in some text messages. And in a text message, the Pillow guy wrote that the January 6th committee has asked for his phone records. Now he said, I wasn't there on January 6th, and yes, they did subpoena my phone records, but we filed a complaint for declaratory and injunctive relief against the January 6th committee and Verizon to completely invalidate this corrupt subpoena. Fun. All right, so now look, you realize the subpoena isn't actually a polite favor, right? No, it's Congress saying, look, you might have something that is of great interest to us in a criminal investigation. You might want to come in and answer some questions, or, supply us with the documentation so that we can look over it. Now, if you don't give them the records, obviously, they have the ability to come in and get them in whatever way I guess they choose fit, or at least you're supposed to, generally. Now, Lindell said that he was informed that the committee wanted his phone records, and from the time between November through early January. And that's of course, 2021. So now they wanted to see if he had any role in the planning of the January 6th Capitol insurrection. Now, I think that he did. I think at least he knows something. Look, we know from different reporting that he's had meetings with Trump after the riot, where a Washington Post photographer had caught some images of some of his notes. Those notes mentioned using the Insurrection Act and martial law, if necessary, and to move Trump loyalists into the head of the CIA. The notes also referenced conspiracy theorist, Kraken lawyer Sidney Powell, who's been going out there and spreading nonsense conspiracies. Oh, right, the same kind of conspiracies that Mike Pillow had been spreading. Fun. Now, multiple people had also claimed that Lindell had met at the Trump International Hotel in Washington, D.C. on January 5th, alongside other Trump allies, including former advisor Peter Navarro. The guy who worked with Bannon to do the Green Bay sweep, basically a way to get the electors recalled, the ones who voted for Biden in certain swing states, to change those electors out with ones who would vote for Donald Trump, therefore handing Trump the election and disenfranchising tens of millions of Biden voters. All right, so now other people who were involved in that meeting were Rudy Giuliani, of course, and Senator Tommy Tuberville. Uh-oh. Tommy. What's going on, Tommy? Now, they apparently had discussed election-related matters, obviously. Now, Daniel Beck, CEO of Idaho-based TXT Wire, had described the gathering on Facebook the day before the riot, saying 15 of us spent the evening with Donald Trump Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle, Tommy Tuberville, Michael J. Lindell, Peter Navarro, and Rudy Giuliani. We talked about the elections, illegal votes, court cases, the republic's status, what to expect on the Hill tomorrow, and said that Trump will retain the presidency. Right. Charles Herbster, Republican candidate running to be the next governor of Nebraska, also placed Lindell with the same group on January 5th at the Trump Hotel. So now Lindell's like, I didn't do that. I wasn't there. No, I mean, I was there shortly, but I didn't meet with anybody. What are you talking about? No, I wasn't there. I was selling pillows. That's what it is. Now, Lindell was also involved with rallies organized for Women by Women for America First, the Trump nonprofit group that helped put together the rally that preceded the riot at the Capitol. So it seems to me that Mike Lindell might be a little involved in this entire thing. I'm just saying. His actions since the Capitol riots where he kept pushing the big lie, doing the cyber symposiums, all that stuff. It really does show you how invested personally he was into this entire thing. Now, the thing is about Mike Lindell is I do still believe that he is a true believer in this, that he actually thinks that the election was stolen. Like, he actually believes in this stuff. He is high on his own supply. He is bought into this like a Trump supporter buying his crappy pillow. All right? And so, and again, you look at the reporting that TYT Investigates did into Mike Lindell and his connections with the family, right? And so you had that shady group of, again, very conservative, religiously conservative people that were getting together and that were, I guess, trying to figure out how to get money to first, I believe it was Ben Carson, and then to Donald Trump. This was back in 2015, doing these meetings. And I remember Lindell talking about how he's like, oh, I was having dreams about Donald Trump. And I just think it's divine. I had dreams about meeting him, and then I actually met him. Oh, and there's a divine, there had to been like, I'm chosen of God. And so he thinks that he's on the side of Jesus, and that Donald Trump is some sort of martyr, and that maybe he himself is a disciple or some sort of saint that is there to try to actually save Donald Trump and the Republic from evil. And I've heard this phrasing before from different Trump supporters. They don't see this as, Democrats versus Republicans. They don't see this as a rule of law versus not. Okay? What they see this is matter of good and evil. The forces of God versus the forces of Satan. That's how they see this as. That's how they see this. And so, of course, when you put it into religious terms, it makes sense to understand the motivations of people like Mike Lindell. And so, understandably, this is why he and others, at least he himself, is saying, no, we're not gonna provide the phone records. And that's it. Well, I'm not gonna do it. Now, he's doing this along with former National Trump Security Advisor Michael Flynn, former White House Advisor Sebastian Gorka, and others. Now, I think this is why we should, do something about this. Stop asking nicely and maybe use some of their power to convince people, put a little pressure on them to go and provide the information that they require. Don't want to comply? Okay, we'll hold you in contempt. All right? And again, as long as they follow the law and still get their records, this is what we should be doing. And I don't advocate for that position lightly, understand. But I also understand that an attack on our democratic process like this is not something to take lightly.